That entire sequence wasn't shot on a camera. It was generated completely inside a desktop browser from a single text prompt using native 4K AI. Up until recently, you could spot an AI generate video instantly. The frames looked soft, the backgrounds would morph randomly, and the second a character moved fast, the physics completely fell apart. With the release of Seedance 2.0 in native 4K on the Higgsfield platform, these limitations are changing. Today isn't just an update review. This is a complete step-by-step class on how to control this tool like a director. We're going to break down the exact prompting framework I use to handle multi-shot scenes and hyperrealism. This video is sponsored by Higgsfield, and as always on the channel, we're skipping the hype and focusing entirely on the practical workflow. I'm Jamie, and let's dive in. Let's clear up the access steps first. Higgsfield is an entirely browser-based AI creative platform. So we got images, videos, audio, and more. There's no official apps for this, no iOS apps or Google Play Store. So keep this on your desktop browser for the full suite of controls. The link is down below in the description so you can test this out. Now, once you log in, navigate over to video and find the Seedance 2.0 4K option and click it, and we'll go from there. Let's do a complete tour of the interface parameters before we write anything, because understanding your settings saves you from wasting your generation tokens. Now, right in the middle is your primary prompt box. It accepts up to 2,500 characters. Just above or beside the prompt box, you'll see the upload zone. This is where Higgsfield lets you drop up to 9 static images, 3 video clips, and 3 audio tracks all at once to anchor your generations. Along the bottom is where the technical work happens. Now, first, ensure your model dropdown is explicitly set to Seedance 2.0. This is the critical parameter. You'll see the 480p, 720, 1080, 4K. We're selecting 4K. It's vital to note that this isn't a cheap upscaler attached to a blurry 720p video after the fact. It renders natively at Ultra HD frame boundaries. Next is the duration slider. You can adjust your timeline anywhere from 4 seconds up to 15 seconds. For cinematic storytelling, I highly recommend dialing this to at least 12 seconds. It gives the physics engine enough runway to execute complex movements smoothly. For a standard layout, we'll leave the aspect ratio at 16:9 and change the bitrate dropdown from normal to high to preserve maximum fidelity in moving textures like dust, water, and fabric. Now, let's look how to construct a high-fidelity prompt. You can't just keyword stuff a blank box and expect a professional cinematic output. You need a structured hierarchy. Now, the best prompting method for Seedance 2.0 relies on an explicit 5-part order: subject, action, camera, style, and finally constraints. Let's look at how this order works inside the exact prompt I used for the cold open clip. First, we define the subject and action: a downhill mountain biker descending a steep forest trail at the golden hour. The suspension compresses on landing. The rider's body shifts weight realistically with the terrain. Second, we layer the camera language: cinematic tracking, shot from behind, followed by a seamless cut to a low side angle as the rider hits a dirt gap jump. Anamorphic lens distortion, shallow depth of field. Third, we establish the style and the environment: dappled sunlight breaking through tall pines, soft organic lens flare, fine dust kicks up aggressively from the rear tire. Fourth, we describe the specific 4K texture and audio: sharp 4K detail visible in the spinning tire tread, the rough tree bark, and the moving folds of the jersey fabric, ambient forest background sound, tires gripping loose dirt, rushing wind, and a low bass-heavy cinematic score. And fifth, we finish with our constraints. Placing your guardrails at the very end of the prompt prevents the model from injecting unwanted elements like generic stock aesthetics or weird background morphing. When you're prompting multi-shot sequences like this, always establish your baseline at the very beginning of the text, specifying the number of shots and the total duration. If your scene features complex transitions, use number shot list to describe the action chronologically, or wrap specific visual adjustment in inline brackets. Notice how terms like suspension compresses and body shifts weight keep the physics engine grounded. Seedance 2.0 tracks realistic weight distribution natively, so telling the AI exactly how objects interact with gravity prevents limbs from turning into a rubbery mess. Writing a dense technical prompt from scratch every single time isn't a very efficient workflow. If you want to speed up the production, the easiest approach is to use a standard AI chatbot to act as your assistant director. Now, I'm going to open up Claude here, but you can pick any one that you would prefer. The trick is to give the chatbot your core concept and instruct it to apply the exact 5-part formula we just covered. I'm going to type, I need a cinematic 4K video of a motocross rider launching off a desert dune at sunset. Act as a professional film director and write a detailed Seedance 2.0 prompt under 2,500 characters. Structure it strictly by subject, action, camera, language, style, and constraints. You include the fine 4K textures like cascading sand grains and fabric folds. Look at how it built this looking so professionally, the description of everything here. So from now, it's simple, copy and paste. You copy this text, drop it straight into the Higgsfield prompt box, set your drop down to 4K and generate. You bring the creative concept, the chatbot handles the technical blueprint. Using a standard web chat to write your text is a great starting point, but if you want to eliminate the copy and pasting entirely and have an AI actually coordinate the video generation settings for you, you can set up a more advanced workflow using the Model Context Protocol or MCP. MCP allows a Claude desktop app to connect directly to external tools and environments. So instead of just giving me text to copy, Claude can read my request and natively configure the exact Higgsfield parameter. So take a look at this. I'm just going to hit the plus here. I'm going to go to connectors. I have Higgsfield connecting. I have a different video if you want to learn how to connect your Higgsfield to this. But now all I have to do is give it this prompt here. Use the video generator tool to create a 4K scene of that same motocross rider, automatically set to duration to 12 seconds and force the bitrate to high. I'm just going to send this off. I can see right now it's getting ready to load the Higgsfield model tools and check what Seedance 2.0 actually supports. I can see Seedance supports everything I asked for, the 12 seconds, 4K. I'm just going to go ahead and allow. Because of the direct MCP connection, the assistant just doesn't write the prompt. It coordinates the exact perimeter payload. It will select Seedance 2.0 model, sets the resolution to 4K, and locks in the 12-second duration without me having to manually click through the platform's drop-down menu. And here we have it right here, the finished video. So you can see Seedance, we have the aspect ratio, 12 seconds. Let's go ahead and just play it, and you can see it. So you can see on that run through, there was some issues with some of the movements. But the good thing is with this one, let's say the video needs a tweak. Say I want the camera angle to be lower. I want to try to fix what just happened in the jump. I can just tell Claude in the chat down here, and it iterates on the variables instantly. It turns the AI from a simple writing assistant into an active production assistant. Now let's move into a crucial tutorial pillar, character consistency and making your actors speak. In traditional AI video tools, if you generate a character in shot 1 and try to make shot 2, the person's face, hair, and clothing change completely. Higgsfield solves this through an element management system. And I'm going to place myself in a video so you see how this works. Now, I just want to quickly show you how to put yourself or other elements into a video and make it say what you want. So here's another example.
There, right there. Don't move.
So what you had me was saying something. Now that's put right into my prompt. So here's the prompt, and I did let AI help. I gave it kind of the context, the bones, like I showed you before, and I wanted to say something, but right here. So there, right there, don't move. I'm just telling it exactly what I want my character to say. Now you're probably wondering, how did I get into it? Well, that's just adding an element. So you can see in this case right here, here I am. You can go ahead and when you click on this, you'll see elements, and I have myself as a picture right here. So if I wanted to go new element, I can enter the name, give it a description, and I just upload that media. And then all I have to do is referencing it by using the @ So if I move down here, you can see right here, I put @Jamie, and that's going to bring in that element. So then the video gets created with it. Big cinematic shots are fun, but for most of us, we're not making action films. So here's the everyday version. Say you run a small business, and we're going to use a made-up one, Basecamp Brew Company, launching an espresso blend called Ridgeline. I want a short product video for social, so I upload a real photo of the bag so the packaging is right. I'm going to tag it with the @ and prompt a slow cinematic pour of an espresso into a glass on a wooden counter. Steam rising, warm morning light. The @Ridgeline bag sits beside it, labeled to camera, shallow depth of field, sharp 4K detail on the crema and the steam. And there's the finished product clip. A real bag, cinematic look, ready to post. Same tool that makes the action shot, makes the thing you'd actually use on a Tuesday. Let's do a practical honest analysis regarding resource costs, because resolution details get overhyped easily online. Look at the side-by-side comparison. If your target viewers are watching your content entirely on mobile feeds or scrolling rapidly through social apps, the visual variance between a clean 720p draft and a full 4K render is small. However, if your work is going to go onto an institutional display, a large monitor workspace, or any distribution tier where your production budget or brand credibility is on the line, the difference becomes obvious. In native 4K, fine elements like fabric stitching, flying dirt, fragments, and skin texture stay razor sharp during the fast camera pans, rather than dissolving in that blocky soft mush. The primary trade-off is efficiency. True 4K runs take significantly longer to render and cost more credits per second. Never run your initial concept drafts in 4K. Set your resolution toggle to 720p or use the fast model selection to rapidly test your prompt layout, camera pacing, and composition variations. Once you find the perfect take, switch your parameter switch to 4K, change the bitrate to high, and commit your tokens to the final production asset. So that's Seedance 2.0 in native 4K inside Higgsfield. By combining structured prompting frameworks, locking character elements with that @tag system, and utilizing advanced workflows like Claude MCP, you gain genuine creative control over the generative video files. If you carry one practical challenge away from this tutorial, try this. Log on to the desktop site, build a prompt using the 5-part framework we discussed: subject, action, camera, style, and constraints, and render it at full 4K resolutions. Seeing how the physics engine responds to the granular detail instructions is the fastest way to master this tool. The link to explore the platform is just positioned in the very top lines of the description box down below, and I've pinned it into the comments first at the top for quick access. Thanks for watching this time on Teacher's Tech. I'll see you next week with more tech tips and tutorials.